Hello friends and my dear students. This is your Yoganandam biology lecturer from Edall Academy YouTube channel. In this class, we are going to discuss one of the biology full syllabus test paper. From this paper, we are going to discuss there are 90 questions with detailed solutions. So totally, we are going to discuss 5,000 questions from biology full syllabus in order. This is the 17th paper. Already we have discussed the 16th paper. It is followed by 17th paper. Even this paper, we are going to discuss 90 questions with detailed solutions. Especially the students those who are preparing for NEET 2023 examination, for them this video is prepared. Those who are watching our channel, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. Let us continue the question and answer one by one.
Question number 1. Which of the following is not relevant to the structure of double helical DNA? The Watson and Crick model shows that DNA is double helix with deoxyribose sugar, phosphate backbone on the outside and paired bases on the inside. The planes of the bases are perpendicular to the helix axis. The planes of the sugar are nearly right angles to those of the bases. So the answer for this question is option D. Each strands of helix has backbone made up of alternating ribose sugar and phosphate. Question number 2. Choose the incorrect statement about picomycetes. Picomycetes reproduce sexually and form tough zygospores from the fusion of neighboring gametangia. The gametangia contact between the antheridium and oogonium through the formation of fertilization is based. So the answer for this question is option C. A zygospore is formed by reduction division. That is the incorrect statement about picomycetes. Question number 3. Some characters are given below. Which of the two phyla are characterized by the above all characters? Annelida and Arthropoda are bilaterally symmetrical organisms that are triploblastic, segmented, and coelomates. Echinoderms are also bilaterally symmetrical organisms, but few organisms shows pentaradial or five-sided symmetry. Mollusks have bilateral symmetry but are unsegmented organisms. So the answer for this question is option A, phylum Annelida and Arthropoda. Question number 4. In C4 plants, Calvin cycle operates in. C4 plants are specialized plants for better carbon dioxide assimilation found in a hot environment. They have characteristic leaf anatomy called Kranz anatomy, show two distinct chloroplasts containing cells, mesophyll and bundle sheath cells. Mesophyll cells are located very near to bundle sheath cells and are all the sites for C4 cycle. Carbon dioxide is first fixed as a 4-carbon compounds, oxaloacetic acid, by the action of PEP carboxylase. The second carboxylation event occurs in the chloroplast of bundle sheath cells through C2 cycle. So the answer is option A, stoma of bundle sheath chloroplast. Question number 5. As compared to dicot root, a monocot root has. Vascular bundles in monocot root are arranged radially, having 8 bundles each of xylem and phloem. This type of arrangement is basically called as polyarch with xylem in exarch condition. So the answer is option A, xylem bundles. Question number 6. In the diagram and identify the correct option. The liquid extract from dead virulent A strain bacterium with normal O strain bacterium is present in the culture vessels A, B and C. Different enzymes were added to culture vessels and a brief incubation was given for the growth of the organism. The culture vessels A and B will undergo a transformation and new A cells appear mixed with O cells, and in C vessels transformation does not occur. No change and only O cells will be absorbed. This is because the transformation principle tells that DNA is the genetic material that transforms the O strains to A strain, and with DNA's treatment the DNA gets degraded and thus no transformation. So the answer for this question is option A. C. Transformation does not occur, no change and only O strain will be absorbed. So that is the correct option. Question number 7. Potatoes are. Parenchyma is the most simple and unspecialized tissue which is concerned mainly with the vegetative activities of the plant. Parenchyma cells have a different shape and function depending on its location and in which tissue it is present. However, all parenchyma cells always have a large central vacuole and only chlorenchyma cells contain high chloroplast content. Chlorenchyma cells contain chloroplast. Chloroplasts are organelles that carry out photosynthesis. The sugars are converted into other starch, fat and oils and stored in other parenchyma cells in the stems and roots. Potatoes, for example, are the tubers that are starch storing parenchyma cells. So the answer is option B, parenchymatous tubers. Question number 8. Norepinephrine is secreted from. Adrenal gland is also called as suprarenal gland. Each gland consists of two parts, an inner medulla which produces epinephrine and norepinephrine. It is generally called as adrenaline and noradrenaline, and an outer cortex that produce the steroidal hormones. So the answer is option D, suprarenal medulla. Question number 9. The volume of air in the dead space for human lungs is normally 150 ml of air is always gets stuck in the lungs, which are called anatomically dead space. The dead space represent the volume of ventilated air that does not participate in gaseous exchange during the respiratory process. So the answer is option D, 150 ml. Question number 10. Which of the following is not a characteristic feature of bryophyte? Bryophytes are simple small amphibious plants. So that means they require both water and land. They do not have vascular systems, so that's why they are generally called as atracheata. Accessory spores are not formed. Vegetative reproduction is quite common, like fragmentation, tubers, gemmae, buds, and adventitious branches. So the answer is option D, formation of accessory spores. Question number 11. Which of the following option is incorrect to the given diagram below? Bryophyly is characterized by the presence of well-exposed or versatile stamens. The pollen grains are light and non-sticky. Presence of feathery stigma, which enhance the pollination by allowing pollen grains to get trapped and commonly absorbed in gymnosperms, grasses, sedges, rushes, etc. So the answer is option B. Pollen grains are light and sticky. Question number 12. What is true about earthworm, scorpion, cockroach, and silverfish? Earthworm belonging to the phylum Annelida, scorpion, silverfish, and cockroach belongs to the phylum Arthropoda. All have dorsal heart. So the answer is option A. They all possess dorsal heart. Question number 13. The table below gives the population in thousands of 10 species in 4 areas consisting of the number if habitat given within brackets against each. Study the table and answer the question which follows. Which area out of A to D shows maximum species diversity? Species diversity is the variety in the number and richness of species of a region. The number of species per unit area is called species richness. The number of individuals of different species represent species evenness or species equitability. Communities where species are represented by more or less equal number of individuals exhibit evenness. Others where one or more species have more individuals than others show dominance or unevenness. Species diversity is a product of both species richness or evenness or equitability. For example, species richness weighed by species evenness, hence area D, and the number of habitats 12 shows the maximum species diversity. So the answer is option C. From the given table column, the area D shows maximum species diversity. Question number 14. Formation of ozone hole in maximum over. Ozone hole is an area with extreme reduction in the ozone concentration. It was discovered over Halley Bay in Antarctica by Foreman et al. In the year of 1985. Members of British Antarctic Survey Team. Image of largest Antarctic ozone hole ever recorded in September 2006. So the answer is option C, Antarctica. Question number 15. Column 1 lists the components of body defense and column 2 lists the corresponding descriptions. Match the two columns. Choose the correct option from the given. Immunity. Direct contact with the pathogen that have entered inside. First line defense. Surface barriers. Passive natural immunity. That is matched with antibodies transferred through the placenta. Second line of defense. Complement proteins and interferons. So the correctly matching option is option C. Question number 16. In Funaria, the number of peristomial teeth is. Orogonium of Funaria is composed of the apophysis, theca, and operculum. The peristome lies immediately underneath the operculum. It consists of two sets of long conical teeth. There are 16 teeth in each set, totally 32. The teeth of both sets are on the same radii and thus opposite to each other. The peristome teeth close the opening of the spore sac. The teeth of the outer set respond to changes in the humidity and thus they are said to be the hygroscopic. The inner peristome teeth do not show hygroscopic movement. Teeth close the opening of the spore sac. The teeth of the outer set respond to change in the humidity and thus they are said to be hygroscopic. The inner peristome teeth do not show hygroscopic movement. So the answer is option C, 32. Question number 17. Which of the four taxonomical ranks contain organisms least similar to one another? The closely related orders are grouped into class named as taxonomical rank in the classification, which have least similar organisms to another. So the answer is option A, class. Question number 18. Which of the following is not found in birds? In birds, forelimbs are modified as wings for flying. Therefore, the forelimb is not found in birds. So the answer is option B. Question number 19. The ovary is half inferior in flowers of. A half inferior ovary is also known as half superior, sub-inferior or partially inferior is embedded or surrounded by the receptacle. A flower in which the other floral parts arise from around the ovary is called perigynous. Here ovary is half inferior or half superior. Example, peach, plum, etc. So the answer is option A. Question number 20. Given below are four matchings of an animal's and its kind of respiratory organs. From that, you find out the correct matching. The respiratory organs of silverfish is the trachea. A book lung is the respiratory organ of scorpions. Pharyngeal slits are the respiratory organs of sea squid, dolphins or aquatic mammals that breathe by lungs. So the answer is option D. So from the given, first, second and third are correctly matched. Question number 21. Bacteriophage is made up. Bacteriophage is a virus that infects bacteria. In its tadpole-like structure, DNA is found inside the protein's head. Nucleoproteins are any proteins commonly called as conjugated proteins that are structurally associated with nucleic acids, either DNA or RNA. So the answer is option C, nucleoproteins. That is a combination of nucleic acid and proteins. Question number 22. Choose the correct statement. 22 amino acids are naturally incorporated into polypeptides and are called proteinogenic or natural amino acids. Of these, 20 are encoded by universal genetic code. The remaining 2, selenocysteine and pyrrolysine, are incorporated into proteins by unique synthetic mechanism. There is an N-terminal and C-terminal present in all the proteins. The solubility of a protein in water depends on the 3D shape of it. Usually, globular proteins are soluble while fibrous ones are not. A peptide bond is a type of covalent bond or amide carbon-nitrogen bond formation between the carboxyl group of one amino acid and the amino group of another amino acid. So the answer is option D. Proteins are formed by amide, that is CN bonds. Question number 23. Which is related with the ringworm? Dermatophytosis is a fungal disease also called tinea. It affects the scalp, nails, feet, etc. Due to the appearance of a red ring on the body, it is called ringworm. It is caused by fungus Microsporum, Trichophyton and Epidermophyton, which are collectively called dermatophytes. So the answer is option D. All the three, Microsporum, Trichophyton, Epidermophyton, are related with ringworm. Question number 24. Single cell protein can be useful in all except. Single cell protein, it is generally called as SCP or probiotics, is a protein rich microbial biomass that can be used as a food and feed. Example, spirulina, mushrooms, methylopilus, methylotropous. Single cell protein has all essential amino acids and low content of fats. Shift from meat to grain as a food by man cannot be prevented as human is addicted to the taste of meat. So the answer is option C. Preventing shift from meat to grain as a diet by human being. Except this, remaining all other statements are correct about ACP. Question number 25. Which one of the following statement is totally wrong about the occurrence of notochord while the other three are correct? The notochord is a flexible rod-like structure that forms the main support of the body in the lowest chordates. It is not absent in humans that throughout their life. The notochord is present in the embryonic stage and gets changed or replaced by the vertebral column in the adult. So the answer is option C. It is absent throughout life in humans from the very beginning. So that is a wrong statement. Question number 26. In which one of the following reactions oxidative decarboxylation does not occur? Oxidative decarboxylation reactions are oxidative reactions in which a carboxylate group is removed, forming carbon dioxide. In this reaction, glycerol 3-phosphate gives 1,3-biphosphoglyceric acid. phosphorylation occurs and oxidative decarboxylation does not occur. So the answer is option C. Glycerol 3-phosphate gives, that is converted into 1,3-biphosphoglyceric acid. Question number 27. Stratified squamous epithelium is found in. Most of the stratified epithelium in the adult body are stratified squamous epithelium type. Squamous epithelium, that is stratified squamous epithelium, is of two types, keratinizing and non-keratinizing types. Skin epidermis is of keratinizing types, whereas the cornea of eyes, inner surface of eyelids, lining of buccal cavity, lower part of pharynx, esophagus, vagina and vestibule of the cavity are non-keratinizing type. So the answer is option A, pharynx. Question number 28. The entry in the table is wrongly matched. Identify. Clostridium acetobutylicum is a gram-positive rod-shaped bacteria and is a soil-dwelling organism. This is mesophilic organism, saccharolytic and capable of producing a number of different types of commercially useful products, most notably acetone, ethanol and butanol. Candida lipolytica is a fungus that is commonly used in the detergents to remove oil stains from the laundry, as it produces a high quantity of lipases. So the answer for this question is option C. From the given tabular column, the wrongly matched one is option C. Question number 29. Heterospory is found in. Heterospory, when more than one type of spores are found in a strobilus or in a cone, is called as heterospory. Such plants are evolutionarily developed known as heterosporous plants. Depending upon the spore differentiation, plants are classified into homosporous and heterosporous type. Smaller male microspores and larger female megaspores. So the answer is option D. Heterospory is found in Selaginella, Isoetus, Marsilia. Question number 30. The blubber is formed by. Adipose tissue is a fibrous connective tissue packed with masses of fat cells. These form a thick layer under the skin and occurs around kidneys. The blubber is formed of these tissues. Blubber covers the entire body of animals such as seals, whales and walruses. So the answer for this question is option C. Question number 31. If a producer is large tree that supports a number of herbivorous animals which are further attacked by ectoparasites, the pyramid of numbers shall be. The pyramid of numbers depicts the relationship in terms of the number of producers, herbivores and the carnivores at their successive trophic levels. There is a decrease in the number of individuals from a lower to the higher trophic level. The number pyramid varies from ecosystem to ecosystem. The given condition shows a parasitic food chain where one primary producer supports numerous parasites which support more hyperparasites. Hence, the pyramid of number would be inverted. So the answer is option A, inverted. Question number 32. Superovulation and embryo transplantation techniques are being used for improving. Superovulation and embryo transplantation technology has been demonstrated for cattle, sheep, rabbits, buffaloes, mares, etc. High milk-yielding breeds of female and high-quality bulls have been bred successfully to increase head size in a short time. So the answer is option D. All the techniques that can be used for superovulation and embryo transplantation. Question number 33. Find the correctly matched pair. Cholecystokinin is generally called as CCK, one of the four major peptide hormones secreted by endocrine cells present in different parts of gastrointestinal tract, acts on the both pancreas and gallbladder. The CCK stimulates pancreas and gallbladder to secrete pancreatic enzymes and bile juice respectively. So the answer is option D. Cholecystokinin stimulates pancreatic enzyme secretions. That is correctly matched pair. Question number 34. How many amino acids will be coded by following given hnRNA? All the codons containing single or more than one cytosine represent in the intron. Codon or triplet in the above mRNA. If all the codons containing single or more than one cytosine represent the intron, then the mRNA codes 7 amino acids. That is AUG, UUA, UAU, AUA, GAU, AAA, UU. UAA is one of the stop codon, hence it cannot code for any amino acid. So the answer is option A, 7. Question number 35. The number of sex chromosomes found to be normal in Down syndrome is an autosomal aneuploidy. It is a trisomy of the 21st chromosome. Turner's Klinefelter syndrome and superfemale are chromosomal disorders involving the X chromosome. Turner syndrome, one X chromosome is missing. Klinefelter syndrome, one extra copy of X chromosome in males, super females. 3 copies of X chromosome in females. So the answer is option D, Down syndrome. 36. The scapula is large triangular flat bones situated in the dorsal part of the thorax between the scapula is large triangular flat bone situated in the dorsal part of the thorax between the second and seventh ribs. The dorsal flat triangular body of the scapula has a slightly elevated ridge called spine, which has a flat expanded process called as acromion. So the answer is option B, second and seventh ribs. Question number 37. Given below a diagram of type of WBC, identify the select and correct option. Neutrophils are most abundant WBC. They are approximate 60 to 65% of total WBCs in the blood. Along with monocytes, they are phagocytic in function. So the answer is option B. The given diagram is neutrophil and the number is 60 to 65% function to destruct microbes. Question number 38. The logistic population growth is expressed by the equation. The logistic population growth is expressed by the equation that is option B, dn by dt equal to Rn the bracket k minus n by k. Question number 39. Find out the wrongly matched pair. Cellulose is the most important structural component of the cellular plants. It is a linear polymer of beta D-glucose units connected through beta 1,4-glycosidic linkage. The linear chains form microfibrillae or bundles of parallel chains held together by hydrogen bonds. So the answer is option D, cellulose heteropolymer, that is strongly matched. Question number 40. The first movement of the fetus and appearance of hairs on its head are usually observed during which month of pregnancy? In human beings, after 1 month of pregnancy, the embryo heart is formed. By the end of the second month of pregnancy, the fetus develops limbs and digits. By the end of 12 weeks, first trimester, most of the major organ systems are formed. The first movement of fetus and appearance of hair on the head are usually observed during 5th month. By the end of 24th week, that is second trimester, the body is covered with fine hairs, eyelids, separate and eyelashes are formed. By the end of 9 months of pregnancy, the fetus is fully developed and it is ready for delivery. So the answer is option D, 5th month. Question number 41. Two crosses between the same pair of genotypes or phenotypes in which source of the gametes are reversed in one cross is known as. Dihybrid cross is made between individuals having contrasting traits in order to study the inheritance of two pairs of alleles. Test cross is a back cross between individuals with a dominant trait and its recessive parent is known as whether the individual is homozygous or heterozygous for the trait. So the answer is option C, reciprocal cross. Question number 42. A plant placed near a window bends outward because. Plant bends outward when it is placed near the window because of auxins responsible for the phototropic movement. The auxin on the shadow side is higher than on the lighter side, and as the result, the shaded side elongates more than the cells on the illuminated side and the tip bends outwards. So the answer is option D. Its tip has auxin which is responsible for phototropic movements. Question number 43. Which one of the following pair is mismatched? Solar energy coming to the earth is not responsible for greenhouse effects. It is the increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere like carbon dioxide, which is released by the complete combustion of fossil fuels or biomass in industries or transportation vehicles that prevent the radiation of infrared radiation from the earth and result increase in the temperature of the earth. So the answer is option C, solar energy greenhouse effect, that is mismatched. Question number 44. Write one of the following correctly matched sexually transmitted disease with its pathogens. Syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease caused by Treponema pallidum. It is a member of the family Spirochaetoidea and it is related to other spirochaete genus which have the capacity to infect man, namely Borrelia and Leptospira. So the answer is option B, syphilis, Treponema pallidum. Question number 45. Biolistics, that is gene gun, is suitable for. In genetic engineering, a gene gun or biolistic particle delivery system originally designed for plant transformation. It is a device for delivering exogenous DNA to cells. An elemental particle of a heavy metal coated with DNA. This technique is often simply referred to as biolistic. So the answer is option C, transformation of plant cells. Question number 46. Select the correct state of statement with respect to biodiversity. Evil quadrant is the term coined by biologist Jared Diamond for human-induces loss of diversity. Habitat destruction is the main cause of loss of biodiversity of species due to urbanization. Forests are cleared and lots of species, lots of habitat and ecological niche due to which it gets extinct. According to IUCN Red List documents, there are total 784 species extinct in last 500 years, including 87 plant species. So the correctly matched one is option A, B and C. Question number 47. Study the following columns and choose the correct match. Photolysis of water. Manganese is essential. Diisotropy. Molybdenum. Cytochrome. See oxidase. Is copper is essential. Biosynthesis of indole acetic acid. Zinc. Nodulation in legumes. Boron. So the correctly matching one is option B. Which of the following statements are true or false? Graves' disease is caused by excessive secretion of thyroid hormone. ADH increases the reabsorption of water in the distal convoluted tubule, collecting ducts of the nephron of the kidneys. So the answer is option B. First and second statement are true, third and fourth are false. Question number 49. DNA fingerprinting refers to. DNA fingerprinting is a technique of determining nucleotide sequence of certain areas of DNA which are unique to each individual. DNA contains non-cystonic hypervariable repeat sequences called as VNTR. DNA fingerprinting involves the identification of these VNTRs. So the answer is option D. Molecular analysis of profiles of DNA samples. That is the answer for this question. Question number 50. Population growth curve in most animals except human is. Population growth curve in most animals except human is A-shaped, while human it is J-shaped. So the answer is option A, A-shaped. Which of the following experiments suggests that the simplest living organism could not have originated spontaneously from the non-living matter? Generation or anomalous generation explains the ordinary formation of living organism without descent from similar organisms. Typically, the idea was that certain forms such as flies could arise from inanimate matter such as dust, or that maggots could arise from dead flesh. According to Reddy's experiment, maggots formed only from the egg of the flies, which swarmed into open jars and laid their eggs in the meat. The meat remaining sterile in the closed jar disapproved spontaneous generation of maggots. So the answer is option D. Meat was not spoiled when heated and kept sealed in a vessel. Question number 52. The fever malaria is due to. The periodic fever is a result of synchronization of red cell lysis and release of most merozoites. The fever occurs every 48 hours, reaching up to 40 degrees centigrade, 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and is often associated with headache. The answer is option D. Release of merozoites from red blood corpuscles. Question number 53. Read the following statements A, B, C and D with respect to chromosomes and select right option having correct statements. As centromere at the end of the chromosome, and in acrocentric chromosome, centromere is near the end. The centromere are present in the primary construction and all chromosomes have primary construction, but some chromosomes during metaphase also show secondary construction that are called as satellite. They are present in some chromosomes and help to identify the chromosome from others. So the answer is option D. First, second and fourth statements are correct. Question number 54. Castor is a dash seed. Castor is a dicotyledonous plant having seeds containing two cotyledons. Castor possesses endosperm, hence it is called as albuminous or endospermic seed. Hence castor seed are dicot and endospermic, that is albuminous seed. So the answer is option B, dicot and albuminous. Question number 55. In India, human population is heavily weighted towards the younger age group as a result of. In India, there is a short lifespan of individuals and high birth rate as compared to other countries. That is why the human population is heavily weighted towards the younger age groups. So the answer is option C. Short lifespan of individuals and high birth rate. Question number 56. A individual heterozygous for two pairs of linked genes, that is capital A, capital B, small b, possesses the two dominant genes and one homologous chromosome pair and two recessive on the other. It is said to be. Genetic linkage is the tendency of genes that are located proximal to each other on chromosome to be inherited together during meiosis. Genes whose loci are nearer to each other are less likely to be separated onto different chromatids during chromosomal crossover. and are therefore said to be genetically linked. Cis arrangement means one chromosome has both dominant alleles and it homologous has both recessive alleles. Hence, the condition where an individual heterozygous for two pairs of linked genes, capital A, capital B, small b, possesses the two dominant gene on one homologous chromosomal pair and two recessive on other. It is said to be cis arrangement. So the answer is option A, cis arrangement. Question number 57. In which one of the following pollination is autogamous? Is autogamous pollination when pollination and fertilization occurs in unopened flower bud. It is also known as cleistogamy. It ensures self-pollination and prevents cross-pollination. So the answer is option D, cleistogamy. Number 58. Mustard contains alternate pilotaxy and actinomorphic flower. Alternate means in this type a leaf arrangement of leaf is a single leaf arises at each node in the alternate manner. Example China rose, mustard, sunflower, etc. Actinomorphic, when a flower shows radial symmetry, it is called an actinomorphic flower. Example mustard, datura, chili, etc. So the answer is option A, alternate pilotaxy and actinomorphic flower. Question number 59. Flower pollinate the stigma of another flower of the same plant. It is called geitonogamy. Is the transfer for pollen grains from anther to stigma of another flower, either the same plant or genetically similar plant or between two clones. The answer is option C, geitonogamy. Question number 60. Match a column A with column B. Use and disuse theory that is proposed by Lamarck. Second one, survival of fittest, that theory proposed by Darwin. Then third one, spark discharge apparatus, that is proposed by Stanley Miller. And fourth one, mutation, that is proposed by Hugo de Vries. So the correctly matching option is option B. Number 61. Which one of the following organ in the human body is most affected due to the shortage of oxygen? Brain is the most vital organ. It stops functioning in the absence of oxygen. So the answer is option D. Question number 62. In which of the following the pollen tube enters via salazar? There are three possible ways for the pollen tube to enter the embryo sac. First one is, in most of the cases, a pollen tube enters through micropyle called porogamy, as in Otilia. Second one, in Casuarina, the pollen tube enters through salazar, called as salazogamy. Third method, in Cucurbita, the pollen tube enters through integments or funicle called mesogamy. So the correct option is B, Casuarina. Question number 63. Which of the following statement is false regarding proteins? The N terminus, also known as the amino terminus, NH2 terminus, N terminal end or amine terminus, refers to start the protein or polypeptide terminated by an amino acid with a free amino group, that is NH2. The convention for writing peptide sequence is to put the N terminus on the left and write the sequence from N to C terminus. So the answer for this question is option D. The first amino acid in the polypeptide chain is called as C-terminal amino acid and the last amino acid is called as N-terminal amino acid. Question number 64. In the developmental history of mammalian heart, it is observed that passes through the two-chambered fish-like heart, three-chambered frog-like heart and finally four-chambered stage. To which hypothesis can I have cited statement to be approximated? The biogenetic law is the theory of development and evolution proposed by Ernst Haeckel in the year of 1860s. It is one of the several recapitulation theories which posits that the stage of development for an animal embryo are the same as other animals. Adult stages or forms commonly start at the ontogeny, recapitulates phylogeny. The biogenetic law theorizes that the stage of animal's embryo undergoes during development or chronological replay of the species post evolutionary forms. The biogenetic law states that each embryo developmental stage represents an adult form of an evolutionary ancestor. According to the law, by studying the stage of embryological development, one can understand the history and diversification of life on Earth. So the answer is option A, biogenetic law. Question number 65. One of the examples of action of the autonomous nervous system is: the autonomic nervous system regulates and coordinates involuntary activities like heartbeat, homeostasis, body temperature, breathing, gut peristalsis, and secretion of glands. The human intestine shows the movements during food digestion called peristalsis. So the answer is option C, peristalsis of the intestine. Question number 66. If there is a major deficiency of antibodies in a person, to which of the following can be analyzed? Serum globulins, It makes 2 to 3% of plasma proteins. The alpha and beta globulins sent with the hormones to transport them the gamma globulin to form antibodies. So the answer is option A, serum globulins. Question number 67. In vitro fertilization is the technique that involves the transfer of which one of the following into the fallopian tube? The baby produced by conceiving in a culture dish and nourishing in the uterus is called as test tube baby. This method involves the in vitro fertilization. This service called as IVF. Fertilization of male and female gamete outside the body, almost similar conditions as that in the body, followed by the embryo transfer. Either zygote or early embryo up to 8 blastome year is transferred into the fallopian tube. It is generally called as ZIFT. Zygote intrafallopian transfer to complete its further development. If the embryo is with more than 8 blastome years, it is transferred into the uterus. It is generally called as IUT, intrauterine transfer to complete its further development. So the answer is option D, either zygote or early embryo up to 8-celled stage. Question number 68. Which of the following microorganism is best suited as a cloning vector to introduce nematode-specific genes in plants? Agrobacterium tumefaciens is a rod-shaped gram-negative soil bacterium. It inserts a small segment of DNA known as tDNA for transfer DNA from the plasmid. A small segment of DNA that is known as tDNA for transfer DNA from the plasmid into the plant cell, which is incorporated at a semi-random location into the plant genome, which causes the plant cells to become cancer cells and produce specific compounds called as opines, which the bacterium utilizes as the carbon source. The plasmid tDNA that is transferred to the plant is an ideal vehicle for genetic engineering. This is done by cloning desired gene sequence into the tDNA that will be inserted into the host DNA. The answer is option D, Agrobacterium tumefaciens. It is a microorganism suited as a cloning vector to introduce nematode-specific genes in plants. Question number 69. Select the correct statement. Any change in the volume of the thoracic cavity would be reflected in the lung cavity. This is possible because of the typical anatomical setup of lungs in the thorax. So the answer is option C. The thoracic cavity is anatomically an airtight chamber. That is the correct statement. Question number 70. Basal metabolic rate is controlled by. BMR of an organism is the minimum rate of energy conversion required just to stay alive during complete rest or sleep. BMR is controlled by thyroxine hormone secreted by the thyroid gland. So the answer is option A, thyroxine. Question number 71. The most active phagocytic white blood cells are. The most active phagocytic white blood cells are such as neutrophils and monocytes. Neutrophil is a type of WBC. It is generally called as leukocyte that has lobed nucleus and granular cytoplasm. Neutrophils engulf bacteria and release various substances such as lysozyme and oxidizing agents. Monocyte is the largest from the WBC invertebrates. It has a kidney-shaped nucleus and it is actively phagocytic, engulfing bacteria and cells debris. So the answer is option D, neutrophils and monocytes. Question number 72. Fertilization is internal in. Internal fertilization is the union of an egg with a sperm during sexual reproduction inside the body of the parent that takes place in dogfishes. So the answer is option C. Question number 73. The respiratory quotient for anaerobic respiration is. During anaerobic respiration, without consuming oxygen, carbon dioxide given out. So the respiratory quotient is infinity. So the answer is option D, infinity. Question number 74. Deoxygenated blood flows from. The right and left atria are the top chambers of the heart and receive blood into the heart. The right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the systemic circulation and left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the pulmonary circulation. The answer is option B, right auricle to right ventricle during atrial systole. Question number 75. Which one of the following is most efficient device to eliminate particulate matters from the industrial emissions? The answer for this question is electrostatic precipitator. Electrostatic precipitator is the most efficient device to eliminate the submicron particulates from the industrial and then collected on an electrode or hanging pipe. Then these are removed by hanging the pipes with hammers. Question number 76. Overlapping region between two ecosystems is generally called as ecotone. The zone of transition between two different communities presenting a situation of overlapping is known as ecotone. Question number 77. Water lost in guttation is. Guttation is loss or exertion of water in the form of liquid droplets from leaves and other parts of the uninjured or intact plant. Guttation takes place through special structures which are called as hydrozoids. Water lost during guttation contains some inorganic and organic compounds also. It is not pure. So water lost through guttation is impure water, contained inorganic and organic substances. Question number 78. Which statement is true for angiosperms? Microspore is the first cell of gametopoietic generation. It is a haploid in structure formed by reduction division or meiotic division of the microspore mother cell. The microspore mother cell is formed inside the anther, which is male reproductive structure. The main plant body is diploid, and when microspore is formed, the gametopoietic phase begins. The microspore gives rise to the male gametophyte. So the answer is microspore is the first cell of the gametopoietic generation in angiosperms. Question number 79. Tricarpellary syncarpus gynoecium is found in the flowers of. And the answer is Liliaceae. Liliaceae family is monocot family characterized by tricarpellary syncarpus gynoecium with superior tricarpellary ovary with 2 ovules in each locules and axial placentation. Question number 80. The effective filtration pressure in the glomerulus is maintained due to. The glomerulus is a capillary network within the Bowman's capsule. Blood enters glomerular capillaries through the efferent arterioles and leaves through the afferent arterioles. The diameter of the afferent arteriole is much more than that of afferent arterioles. This increases the volume of blood in the glomerulus and increases the filtration rate. So the answer is option C. Afferent arteriole being slightly larger than afferent arteriole. Question number 81. Most gymnosperms are found on hills where rocky soil has no water holding capacity. So the answer is option A, xerophytic. Question number 82. Which stage of plasmodium is infective for mosquito? Site is the infective stage for female Anopheles mosquito because the optimum temperature for growth of gametocyte is present in their body. The answer is option B, gametocyte. Question number 83. Mitosis occurs in. Mitosis cell division takes place in somatic cells of multicellular organisms arise from single cell by mitotic divisions. Body growth of the multicellular organisms and replacement its lost cells is accomplished through mitosis. Animals undergo open mitosis where the nuclear envelope breaks down before the chromosomes separate, while fungi undergoes closed mitosis where chromosomes divide within an intact cell nucleus. So the answer is option C, both haploid individuals and diploid individuals. Question number 84. Following statement is correct about the working of steroid hormone. Steroid hormones are lipid soluble, so easily pass through the plasma membrane. So the answer is option A. They enter into target cells and binds with the specific receptors and activates specific genes to form a protein. Question number 85. Most cancers are treated by the combination of. Treatment of cancer. The treatment consists of a number of therapies which are as follows. First one is chemotherapy. Second one is radiotherapy. Third one is surgery. The fourth one is supportive therapy. So the answer for this question is option D. The most of the cancers are treated by all 3 methods. Question number 86. What is meant by the degeneracy of codons? As the number of codon is 64 and the number of amino acids to be coded is 21. So more than one codon are available for single amino acid. So the answer is option B. One amino acid can be coded by more than one code. Question number 87. A substance that can withstand environmental extremes and cannot be degraded by any enzyme is. Sporopollenin is a fatty substance present in the pollen wall and provides resistance against extreme conditions like high temperature, acids, bases. So the answer is option B, sporopollenin. Question number 88. Several hormones like HCG, HPL, estrogen, progesterone are produced by. Hormones secreted by the placenta are HCG, HPL, estrogen and progesterone. Human chorionic gonadotropin hormone is generally called as HCG. This hormone is only produced during pregnancy almost exclusively in the placenta. HCG hormone level found in the maternal blood and urine increases dramatically during the first trimester and may contribute to the causing nausea and vomiting often associated with pregnancy. Human placental lactogen, it is generally called as HPL. This hormone produced by the placenta help in the process providing the nutrition for fetus and plays a role in stimulating milk glands in the breast in anticipation of breastfeeding. Estrogen, this group of hormone is responsible for the development of female sexual characters normally formed in the ovaries. Estrogen is also produced by the placenta during pregnancy to help maintain a healthy pregnancy. Progesterone, this hormone is produced by the ovaries and by the placenta during pregnancy. Progesterone stimulates the thickening of the uterus lining and anticipation of the implantation of the fertilized egg. So the answer for this question is option B, placenta. Question number 89. Which one of the following is used in the baking of bread? Protease enzyme is obtained from Saccharomyces cerevisiae and it is used to bread baking is also called baker's yeast. So the answer is option C, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Question number 90, it's the last question. A person is wearing spectacles with a concave lens for correcting vision. While not using the glasses, the image of distant object in his case will be formed. In myopia or short-sightedness, eyeball becomes longer and the image is formed before the retina. This defect of eye can be corrected by using spectacles with concave lenses. So the answer is option C, in front of the retina. Thank you very much for listening our videos. Those who are watching our videos, you are requested to subscribe our channel. All the best.
லைக் பண்ணுங்கள், ஷேர் பண்ணுங்கள், கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்கள், சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்கள். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.